Hi guys, and welcome to your monthly horoscope for July 2018. It's really nice to be with you today. Now, the way I'm going to do this video today is I'm going to go through the energy of July via the astrology day by day, and I'm going to give you an idea of what relationships the planets are forming up in the sky during July and what's happening up there. So I'll give you a weather report astrologically and how that's going to influence all of us here on planet Earth. Once I've done that, I'm going to break it down into your specific sun sign. So how this is going to affect Aries in particular, how it's going to affect Sagittarius, how it's going to affect Scorpio. I'll do that once I've done the main monthly rundown. So I think Lexi has agreed to put the timestamps in for me to so you can see how this is going to affect you for your sign of the zodiac. But what's also really important is that I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about your sign specifically than I did last month. So this is the second time I'm doing the monthly horoscope this way, so I'm still tweaking things here or there, so bear with me, but I'm much happier with this format. So let's get started. The first thing to realize about July 2018 is that Mercury, the communication planet, is in Leo all month. Okay, so Mercury is about ideas, the way you think, the way you communicate with people, the way communication is dealt with in the real world. So that's electronics and TVs and satellites and telephones. It's logistics companies being affected. It also rules anything to do with transport. So Leo is a sign that's very confident, it's super fiery, it loves to enjoy itself, it loves to laugh, but Leo can also become angry in the sense that it needs to protect the people it loves, or it needs to be angry to get rid of something to make space for something better. So it's a very positive placement, but communication is going to be loud, it's going to be strong, and you're going to be feeling confident and assertive in terms of the way you speak really all month. Mercury goes into retrograde at the end of the month on the 26th, but it's still going to be in Leo, so it's big, think big. Now, on the 2nd of July, I've just got the transits in front of me here. So that's what I'm looking at. And I've also made some notes of some key events there, just so you know how I'm doing this. So the 2nd, we've got a grand trine in the sky. A grand trine is an area of real talent and an area where you really just are naturally gifted. The Grand Trine connects the Sun in Cancer with Neptune in Pisces and Jupiter, the lucky planet, in Scorpio. Now, this is an amazing day in terms of listening to your own feelings, dreaming what it is you want your life to be, manifesting what it is you want out of life, and the good luck of Jupiter is going to support you and help you if you dream big on the 2nd of July, if you allow yourself to just kind of daydream a little bit and think about how the future could potentially be. It will help you manifest more positive circumstances in your life, so don't miss out on this opportunity here on the 2nd. Now, on the 3rd of July through until the 19th of August, there is a Sun-Pluto opposition. Okay, so on the 3rd, the Sun is at 11 degrees in Cancer. So the Sun is very focused on connecting with other people at the moment, having relationships, having a good time. Pluto is in Capricorn at 20 degrees. 1 and 2 is a relationship. Pluto is the planet of transformation and change. And in Capricorn, it wants to make changes to physical circumstances. Capricorn is an earth sign, so it wants to make changes on a physical, earthy level. Okay? Now, Pluto is in retrograde, so it's more about looking at the inner structures of your life rather than making changes in terms of your job or the type of work you're doing. It's more about looking within you and being nurturing and loving and kind to yourself. So for this period, which lasts for about, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks really, just remember that there's going to be this constant pull to work and make changes to your physical circumstances. And if you want to know where to go for the clues on how to make those changes, the answer is here. In your heart, in connection with your higher self and your higher power. It's all about water, it's all about the energy of nurturing and caring. And charity begins at home. So really take July and really look after yourself really well. If you take care of people, you're giving energy away. So you have to take care of yourself first. You can't help people if you've got nothing to give. And this month, if you really practice excellent self-care, then you will be in a position to really help other people. Okay. Also on this 3rd of July, we still have that grand trine in place with the Sun, Neptune and Jupiter. And that trine is in place for a while. Let me just go forward a little bit. Yeah, it's in place until the middle of the month, so the 15th, 16th of July. So dream it, feel it, connect to your own desires and dreams, and the good luck planet Jupiter is going to take care of it and is going to provide you with the good luck so that you can create and manifest the kind of life that you want. So remember, again, internally. It's not about, okay, I'm going to move to India and work as a chiropractor down there, and I'm originally actually from Sweden and I've been working as a psychic. It's not about making drastic changes. It's about looking within, being nice to yourself and saying, what is it that you want, you know? Are you satisfied? Are you happy? Ask your inner child. You can just go, close your eyes for a minute and just imagine yourself as a 5-year-old. Is your 5-year-old smiling? Is it happy? Is it content? Or is it crying out and throwing a temper tantrum? Listen to your inner child. Really important. Okay. So the manifestation ability and creating what you want is in place for the first half of the month. So you've really got to be careful to keep a positive mindset because, you know, whatever is going on in here is reflected back to you in the world. So if you're feeling positive and good and keeping positive thoughts, then that's really helpful. If you're constantly kind of, I made a joke about this yesterday to this lady I met, and I said, you know, some days you wake up and in the first second of waking up, you've already had 3 negative thoughts. Like everything hurts, oh my God, I don't know if I can get through this day. Like within a second, and it starts your whole day wrong. But we all have negative thoughts like that. The thing isn't to like slap ourselves and say bad for having bad thoughts. It's not. It's about realizing that, thank you for sharing. You're trying to protect me. Let it go in one ear and out the other, and then replace it with positive messages. I love you. It's going to be a good day. We can handle this, and encourage yourself. So on the 4th of July then, let's go to the 4th. That trine obviously still in place till half the month. But we've got a lot of energy now. Have a look. Yeah, a lot more friction happening between Mars and Mercury. Mars is in Aquarius, also in retrograde. And Mercury is in Leo, so communication is big. So on this day, there's going to be friction about, do I put myself in the spotlight? Or do I help other people? And that's going to be an ongoing kind of theme this month. Self versus others. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can help yourself and help other people. But this month, really, charity begins at home, so you have to take care of yourself before you can help other people. So if you're in a great state on the 4th of July and in a great place and you find an opportunity to be of service to others, take it. But if you're not feeling so great, then take that day to focus on yourself and how you're feeling and what you're doing. 5th of July, we've got a square that starts to appear between Mercury and Jupiter. And on the 5th of July, particularly, listening to your feelings is going to give you wonderful ideas that will help you get closer to what you're trying to achieve in life. So on the 5th, expect some sort of life-changing or potentially life-changing idea or information to enter your system and to create a big boom in your head. It'll be a loud, big idea because Mercury is in Leo and everything's going to be loud and big. So things aren't going to be very subtle here in July. On the 6th of July, we have everything pointing much more towards Uranus and the Moon and Chiron. Now, the Moon and Chiron are in Aries, and Chiron is in retrograde. So there's going to be a sense of, I want to take action to make up for something that didn't work for me in the past. And if you do that, it's going to create chaos in your relationships, and it's going to not fix the problem, it's going to make the problem worse. So if you get some wonderful idea that, oh, you know, this person who we had a bitter falling out or a bitter divorce, but, you know, so time has passed now and I'm sure we can be friends or something, and you decide to pick up the phone on the 6th of July, it's not going to go as planned. It's not the best day to heal past hurts. It's more a day about taking independent action and trying to be of service to people in a more generalized way rather than healing past wounds. So try and avoid that if you can. 7th of July, we've got the Moon and Uranus conjuncting each other. So the Moon is at 27 degrees in Aries, so 2 and 7 is 9, spirituality and completion. Aries is about taking action. So you're going to feel very comfortable listening to your guidance and taking action based on that guidance. Uranus is the planet of electricity and energy and chaoticness and, if that's the word, and being eccentric and unconventional. So this is the day, 7th of July, if you're planning a cabaret act, or if you've wanted to be Madame Mysterio, or if you've got a great idea to put yourself into the spotlight, into the limelight in some way, to broaden your horizons, to really make your world bigger by expanding your profile, then the 7th of July is a great day to do that. It's a great day to launch a business. Mercury is at 11 degrees on this day. So communication in Leo is always going to be big and it's going to serve people. So if you start a business on this day, you've got this chart as the birthday of your business. And this is a really good chart to have. So it means that you can be unconventional, you can work for yourself, and that unconventional, loud kind of nature is really going to be appreciated. So anyone who's brash and loud, this is your month. People are really going to go for it, and a lot of people are going to be following in your footsteps. On the 8th, we've got a T-square forming, so a lot of friction now between Mercury and Mars with Uranus and the Moon. So the question again, do I focus on myself and how I can have fun and put myself in the spotlight? Or should I be introverted and ask myself, how can I be of service to people and how can I help? The friction and in solution is achieved by this opposition forming a triangle and including the Moon in it, and that's at 11 degrees in Taurus. So the answer today is to do something on a practical, physical level. So it doesn't matter. So if you're conflicted about should I write a new song and should I put it on YouTube, or should I go visit my mother who's not very well, and should I spend the day helping her out? I'm not sure. Whatever is the more practical thing to do and which is going to be for the greatest good, that's what you ought to do. So only you can decide that, and sometimes we don't know what the greatest good is. You know, if you decide to write that song and it's a song that's going to be remembered for the next 300 years, then you've affected millions of people. But your mother is your mother. So it's a difficult one, but you don't know. You don't know whether your song is going to be a success or not. And that's why it's so difficult. And that's why it's likely that on this day, on the 8th of July, you're going to choose duty and obligation and helping other people instead of yourself. Okay, let's have a look at the 9th. Things open up nicely again, and we've got another grand trine now. This one is it's unusual. It combines Uranus, Saturn, and Venus. So being eccentric and trying new things in relationships this month is going to be something that you're going to enjoy. So if you're in a partnership, if you're involved with something, doing things for fun is going to really bring a lot of joy and enthusiasm in your relationships. So you can really take things to a new level this month. If you're with someone, and I mean, warning, graphic, you know, if you've never secretly made love, you know, under the stars or something, and that's always been a dream of yours, this is the kind of month to have those wild, magical experiences where you really do something outside of your comfort zone and it liberates you and it makes you feel like, wow, I'm alive and I'm feeling things. That also is going to be a memory that is going to be imprinted in your mind forever, and it's a memory of love. It's a memory of having so much love for another person or for others that you really do something, you create something that is really, really of service. So either it manifests itself, depending on your circumstances, in your physical relationship, your romantic relationships, your marriage, that you really have the opportunity to really create a wonderful, blissful memory for each other today. If you're single, then there's the potential for you to receive information and to download messages which are going to have a long-term impact on the world and which are going to put you in the spotlight for being eccentric or having something unique and unusual to share. And that's going to help other people then as well through what it is you're sharing. On the 10th of July, we have Venus going into Virgo. Now, Venus is the planet of love, beauty, and creativity. She has been in Leo up till now. So the planet of love and beauty in Leo is big and gives you a bear hug, and it's bombastic and it's passionate and it's funny and it's silly and it's enjoyable. And it's all those wonderful kind of summary things. Now it's in Virgo, and Venus in Virgo is a little bit more focused on being serious and being grounded and being practical. So you will love now making practical things like creating arts and crafts, working in the garden, being creative as a painter or as a writer, especially playing with animals and having animals around you. It also is very good at helping you create if you want to create things, rather than just have a message that's boom, I've got to get it out there. This is now the time to really spell check it and to proof it and to go over everything. Venus in Virgo it loves to analyze, it loves to make sense of things, it likes to learn, it likes to listen. So it's the opposite of Venus in Leo. So you take yourself out of the spotlight now and you open up your ears and you listen to other people who are in the spotlight. So there's a huge shift here on the 10th. You're no longer the star of the show. You're now a bystander who is able to learn and listen. Not totally though, because we've got Mercury in Leo, boom, big speak, big communication, love settles down, I suppose. Love becomes more grounded and practical and less fiery and explosive and bombastic. And that's why on the previous day, it's really good day to make those wonderful memories while Venus is still in Leo. Venus in Virgo is going to help people who are single make good choices about new relationships, because Venus is love, Virgo is about making good decisions, being serious and thin-lipped and being like a headmistress almost. So if you're going into a new relationship, you may be nitpicky or critical, but also you're going to have good discernment when it comes to who you allow into your life, and that stays there for the rest of the month. So single people, rejoice. From the 10th of July onwards, it's really a good time to choose the right person for you. Okay. On the 11th, there's a sesqui square which forms between the moon in Gemini and Mars in Aquarius. So on this day, again, you're going to want to create an opportunity that you've imagined, and you're going to want to express that at work to help someone else out. So you will want to use your voice to step in to prevent someone else being harmed, or to stand up for someone, to assert yourself for someone else who may struggle to do that. On the 12th of July, we're now moving up to the new moon. And on the 12th, there's a huge opposition between the sun and the moon, both in Cancer now, which are really loving and caring, and which are all about my identity. And what makes me feel easy and comfortable in life is when I share with other people, and when I'm with family, and when I'm with my loved ones, and I'm with the people who matter. And there's a major opposition between those two, and Saturn, Pluto and Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn, and the South Node and Mars in Aquarius. So it's, what about your duty? What about helping other people? And that's a big theme this month, that you feel selfish if you're not doing things for other people, but you feel obligated to do things. And if you're not doing that with joy, and if you're grumbling about it, it's like, oh, I have to help these people, then it's better not to do it. If you feel that negative about it, because then that means that you need a little bit more care, and you need a little bit more nurturing to get you out of that negative space into a positive space so you can help other people. Okay. 13th, that friction heightens me or others. But also on the 13th, we have now got a partial solar eclipse in Cancer on the North Node. So this is a new moon, and a new moon is when the moon is totally black. You don't see it. And the moon recharges its batteries. So I will make a separate video on the new moon, partial solar eclipse, and the full moon total lunar eclipse that happens this month. I'll make separate videos to go into more details. But here on the 13th of July, it occurs. It is this new moon in Cancer. So a lot of loving, nurturing energy is being pulled in. And it happens on the North Node. And eclipses, because they're interrupted, this black moon is going to partially obscure the sun for a bit. So it's going to darken the sun a little. So because it's kind of interrupted, the effects last for 6 months. So this is on the North Node, so it's about downloading Cancer info, and it means the next 6 months are going to show and mean. And this is a solar eclipse, so it affects the people who are in power, governments, people who we really need to lead us and to have compassion and to show humanity. They are going to, and all of us are going to receive a lot of Cancerian energy, which, as you know, is fun and it's loyal and it will protect its children like no one else. And it's really one of the most loyal and heartwarming signs in the zodiac. And Cancer, you can trust Cancer. So the effect is that this lasts now, and this is going to be in people's kind of energy field, this sense of love for your neighbor for the next 6 months. So that really bodes well for us for the rest of 2018 in terms of what we've seen play out on the political scene. That there's going to be more space for compassion and more space for seeing other people as human beings and not just, sardines that you need to kind of lock up somewhere. So this is a very humanitarian and very humane new moon and solar eclipse. On the next day, the 14th, the North Node in Leo, the Moon in Leo, and Mercury in Leo, they conjunct. So this is a fabulous day to spend with friends and family and to celebrate something. To celebrate just being together, that you have each other in each other's lives, and to it may be even saying farewell to someone in a sense of a leaving party or a surprise do for someone who wasn't expecting anything. It's really about the thing you're most comfortable with is making someone else happy and making someone else feel joyous. So think of something that you can do for someone else in your life today who you love and treat them to something. Maybe it is a surprise party or something like that. On the 15th, we've got a lot of quincunx energy between Mars in Aquarius and Venus in Virgo. Mars is the male principle, what I want, what I desire, what I wanted yesterday. Venus is the Empress, she's loving, she's nurturing, she's kind, she's discerning in this case. They, through this quincunx, they make peace today. So again, when it comes to new relationships, you're very discerning, but you're able today to find someone who's able to communicate with you on your wavelength. And it may be the start of a new romance or a new friendship. So as you can see, this is all very public. July is all about connecting with other people, being out there, making new friendships, throwing people surprise parties. It's a very sociable energy and time. So if you're someone who isolates, if you're someone who finds it difficult to communicate, just get out and about and do things that interest you, and people will come to you and you'll form relationships just by being there. So, sometimes you can go to an event, like when I went to see Amma, for instance, and I didn't really run into anyone there. But then I've gone to other things and I've run into loads and loads of people, and we've gone to dinner afterwards and we've had conversations, and, so the odds are stacked in terms of you meeting people and connecting and getting to know others. On the 16th of July, there's an opposition between the Moon in Virgo and the Ascendant in Virgo with Neptune on the descendant. So you're far more comfortable with what is, and you're grateful about what you have in your life rather than what you want and what you're looking for. So you're not going to be in pain. When you're pining for something, when you're like, oh my God, all my friends are married and they have babies and I'm single and I'm all alone and blah, blah, blah. And, it's embarrassing and I feel like I failed in some way. That's not going to be the case today. You're not going to compare yourself with anyone. You're going to feel really in love with your life and yourself. And this is an opportune day, again, to enjoy yourself, to appreciate yourself, to thank yourself for taking such good care of you, and for meeting other people, and to use that good discernment. So you will meet a lot of people, and if you meet a lot of people, you get some good eggs and some bad eggs. That's where Venus is going to help filter out the bad eggs so that you end up with the good people in your life. If you've just moved country or house or city, it's a great time to get anchored into the new community that you're in. very friendly. On the 17th, we have almost a mystic rectangle appear in the chart, and that's quite interesting. It combines this Chiron with the North Node in Leo, the Moon in Virgo, and then it's missing one of its sides, but it connects with Mars in Aquarius. It doesn't match up with Chiron, but I still count that. So there's an opportunity here to heal a past wound that you suffered in relationships by using your discernment now and finding freedom in what you're looking for in a man or in a woman. So if you feel like, oh, I am not healed, I need to do more work on myself, raise my vibration so I don't attract the same person over and over again, this day, 17th, is really a mystic, miraculous kind of day, in the sense that you're able to overcome your reservations and give someone another chance, and that's an opportunity to really connect with someone else. July 18th, we have the Sun in Cancer conjuncting the North Node in Leo. So this is about giving yourself that push to step into the spotlight and to do the thing that you've been dreaming about all month. So if you wanted to start the business, if you wanted to perform, if you wanted to do a spontaneous stand-up gig, if you wanted to exhibit some of your paintings or publish your writings or self-publish, it's really last chance saloon to get that done and to send those things off. It supports you today. And if you want to put yourself in the limelight in some way, in one of those ways I just described, it's the ideal day to do that. On the 19th of July, we have the Moon in Libra squaring the Sun in Cancer. So this is a quarter moon. So the moon is at 21 degrees in Libra. It loves to communicate and it's super charming. So you'll feel very comfortable today buying some new clothes or wearing something that makes you look your best. And that is going to cause friction with this sense of authenticity you've got in yourself and this sense of taking care of other people and nurturing other people. So I feel guilty because I'm wearing this beautiful red dress and I'm going out to a party and then to a casino afterwards, and I'm going to be drinking champagne and having wonderful conversations, whereas I could be helping my little sister with her maths homework. You know, that there's a lot of that going on, this guilt, like feeling I can really party and enjoy myself versus taking care of other people. And we all know stories of people who received a phone call from their mother and they were at a party and they were saying, "Oh, Mum, call me back later because I'm so busy having fun right now." And that was the last time they ever spoke to their mother, and people regret that. And this is the theme here in July. So have fun, enjoy yourself, put yourself in the spotlight, but make sure you don't neglect your family. And every time you leave someone, when you leave the house, make sure you kiss them and you tell people, "I love you." Not because anything dreadful is going to happen, but because it will alleviate the sense of guilt of I'm not allowed to enjoy myself because I should just focus on my family, which you shouldn't. You have individuated. Family is important, it's great, it's wonderful, but you're an individual as well, and you need to live your own truth and follow your own path. On the 20th of July until the 2nd of August, we have a Sun and Mars opposition. So the Sun is now at 27 degrees in Cancer. The Sun remembers your identity. In Cancer, oh, and happy birthday, Cancers, by the way. The Sun in Cancer, it really gives you the ability to be in touch with your emotions, to connect to higher realms, to be spiritually connected. but also it allows you to be creative and to express yourself and to express your feelings, and also to have a wonderful, wonderful time with family. Mars is at 5 degrees in Aquarius in retrograde, and Mars in retrograde is weakened. And that's saying if you teach other people, you will find freedom. But because it's in retrograde and it's this voice that's similar to what you're doing anyway, connecting with the higher realms and then feeling the love that's taking care of you, taking care of other people, expressing yourself. I mean, that's teaching yourself and others anyway. So there isn't a huge conflict, and the sun hands down beats Mars. Because Mars is in retrograde, the sun is the center of our solar system. So this opposition between sun and Mars, don't worry about that. It's almost like the sun is picking up the slack of Mars because Mars is in retrograde. It gives you less drive to move forward. So that's being picked up now by the sun. And the way it's driving you forward, the fuel in your tank is emotion and spirituality and love and kindness. Whereas Mars's fuel is ambition and drive and I want to get to the top. So we can expect a lot more kindness from each other. Even in competition, even in situations that are competitive, they're not going to be as competitive as usual. Things are going to calm down in offices around the world and it's going to feel more comfortable. July 21st, we've got Jupiter and the moon being conjunct in Scorpio. So again, if you are a creative type, if you're a medium, clairvoyant, ideal day for you to tap in. If you're a creative person, a writer, an artist, perfect. But that actually forms a trine with the descendant in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces. So your imagination is really, really boosted today. And for any creative type or healer or spiritual person, this is the ideal day to exercise your gifts, to flex your intuitive kind of healing muscle. On the 22nd, we've got another grand trine appear in the chart. And this connects Chiron in Aries, the North Node in Leo, and the moon in Scorpio. Now, some of you will be saying a grand trine has to be in one element. Can't have something that's in another element. But sometimes they do kind of pop up because I count a mystic rectangle if one of the sides is missing. I count a grand trine if one of the elements is out of the element that the other two are in. So because I feel that just because it's off by 1 degree or something doesn't undermine the energy that we're getting. So on the 22nd, there's an ability to heal a failure where you try to make something of yourself and you try to put yourself in the spotlight and you failed. And you can heal this by repeating what you were doing, trying to make it to the top or being in the spotlight. If you do something that is designed to be of service to other people and if it's not just about you. You know, like we're living in a weird time because it used to be that you'd get famous for something and people would celebrate you for your talent. So the Dupre lady, she was celebrated for being an amazing cellist. Einstein for his work. Napoleon because of what he did. Marie Antoinette. These days, you can be famous for being the child of a star, or you can go on a reality show, and it's the Andy Warhol quote of, in the future, everyone's going to be famous for 15 minutes. And that's fine, but fame is not something that is to be pursued in its own right, just for the sake of I want everyone to know who I am. Like, it doesn't serve anybody except your own ego. And what we're trying to do is deflate the ego, not inflate it. So if you are someone who wants to be in the spotlight and who wants to be out there, make sure that you're there for a reason, that you're there to entertain people or to heal people or to make them laugh, which is also a type of healing. So If you're going to say, listen, I want to be famous, I want people to know my name, I want to make a load of money, then make sure you're actually providing them with some value. And I think you'll come to a head with that decision here on the 22nd of July. On the 23rd, we've got a square forming between the moon now in Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces. So the skies and the heavens open up even more. Sagittarius is about exploring and broadening your horizons, either on a physical level or on an intellectual higher realm level. Neptune is the imagination planet, so your centaur mind, your centaur soul, can gallop off into the clouds today and beyond the clouds and through the stars, and it can reach other dimensions in the astral plane, and it can go places where it usually couldn't. So Jupiter is also still in a water sign, Scorpio, at 13 degrees. Your luck is going to come from listening to your feelings. And this is another fabulous day of just having a mind that's so broad and open that you're either going to have to express yourself or help someone. The energy has to go somewhere, and it's really positive energy. On the 24th, we've got a huge gathering now in one of your houses. We've got a stellium, which means 3 or more planets together. We've got the moon, Saturn, Black Moon Lilith, and Pluto sitting together. So the thing that's going to make you feel most comfortable is a sense of freedom and exploring. But at the same time, you're going to feel restricted by work. You're going to feel like I can't do what I want because I have to work. And you may feel resentful about the lack of freedom that you have in your life. Now, every job is going to restrict you in some way. If you're working, you have to work, you know? If you have to put in 3 hours, you're restricted by 3 hours because you have to work for 3 hours. That's the way it is. On this day, you're going to feel uncomfortable with that. So, there's nothing you can do about it, really, unless you find something which is completely passive income, where you just make money and you don't have to work at all, which is, if you have that figured out, then good for you. But what's better about this day, rather than being frustrated about the work that you're in and how it holds you back, is in your spare time, because, you're not going to be working 24 hours. In your spare time, you communicate the things that you think are going to make you get the kind of work that you truly want. Because the moon is not only in Sagittarius, it also trines Mercury in Leo at 23 degrees. So it's through your spiritual adventures and expressing those that you're going to find freedom on this day. On the 25th, again, we've got a sharp connection between the Sun in Leo, Saturn in Capricorn, and Uranus in Taurus. So it's about, I want to be seen and heard. Saturn says, don't be seen and heard, work. Uranus says, let's find a middle ground. How about just one person sees and hears you? And how about you spend the day with one person who pays attention to you and loves you and wants to make you feel like a king or a queen. And this is another great day for love and connecting and being intimate with another person. It's a really fun month. It's love, and it's the difficult choice between family or being yourself. But as themes go, these are really all very positive, and they're all about you coming out of your shell and coming out of your bubble a little bit. On the 26th of July through until the 19th of August, we have Mercury, the communication planet, going retrograde. Okay, so once I get to each one of the signs, I'll tell you what area of the chart, what house Mercury goes retrograde in for you, because you'll know how communication is stifled and in what area of your life. That's what Mercury retrograde does. It makes communication more difficult. It allows more misunderstandings and miscommunications to occur. It it messes with transportation and electrical communication devices. And because it's in Leo, it's big. So it's going to have big implications. So I'm sure there's one band out there whose speakers are going to fail and whose whole sound system is going to go down, like a Mariah at New Year's kind of situation. So that is the case here with this Mercury retrograde, and it lasts until the 19th of August. The great thing about Mercury retrograde is that it allows you to find new ways of communicating. So find different ways of getting what you want and find a different format. Mercury retrograde is a real blessing because it forces us to assess the way we come across and the way we communicate, and it allows us to become more effective. So use that to see alternative ways of doing things. And you might, sometimes you think, I have got the best system down. This is the best thing that works. But then you try something else, even though you don't want to, and you're like, oh my God, this works much more, it clicks. And then it's like, okay, I was proven wrong. There is a better way of doing it. That's the kind of energy. So allow yourself to be proven wrong and go on an adventure in terms of how you can express yourself. Maybe it's time for you to start writing instead of just talking. Or instead of making YouTube videos, maybe you should start a website or a blog. Or speak in person. Different tactics to get the freedom out of the communication that you want. On the 27th of July, we have the total lunar eclipse in Aquarius, and that's on the south node. So this is a full moon. The sun and the moon are 180 degrees away from each other. So the moon is showering us with its energy, but again, it's an eclipse. So it's interrupted, and this is a total lunar eclipse. So the moon is going to be blacked out. This full moon is going to be totally blacked out. It's in Aquarius, and it's about letting go of things because it's on the south node. So it's about letting go of the anger of the state of the world and how unjust things are and how little freedom there is. And instead of playing Ain't It Awful, you let go of all of that and you say, okay, we know the statistics, we know there's suffering in the world, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to do my bit. I'm going to work to be of service as much as I can on this day and beyond, because remember, it's an eclipse. So it lasts for 6 months. So this is beautiful because earlier in the month, on the 13th, we had that partial solar eclipse, which affects our leaders. And they are going to be more compassionate for the next 6 months. Now, this is about us, the little people. And this is an eclipse which allows us to let go of the ain't it awfulness of life. And I only have one voice and I can't affect change. And what it does to us, it allows us to see, I have one voice, but I also have one body and I'm powerful and I can affect change in the world. And if I work at something to make things better, then I have something to be proud of. So for the next 6 months, you're really going to want to shut down anyone who says, oh, isn't this terrible and stuff, without doing anything in response. So you might hear yourself saying things like, okay, well, there isn't any fresh water in Rwanda, so what have you done? Have you gone over there and helped build water pumps, or have you contacted someone to get funding? Challenge people. Don't just say, oh, it's such a pity. Poor people, get involved, there's no, it's almost snobbery, I suppose, if you're just like being a bystander and looking at things that you think are injustices. And the wonderful thing about this eclipse is that it gives you the desire and the desire to help people and to make things better. So that also puts into context what you've been struggling with all month, Am I the star or am I helping others? Now, with this, at the end of the month here, for the next 6 months, you're going to be helping others. So allow yourself to be a star, and here in July, allow yourself to have a little bit of fun as well for you. You know, do something for yourself. Doesn't mean you're not going to be able to have fun over the next 6 months, but you're really going to take your role as a human being very seriously, and in the sense of, you know, what am I leaving behind? Am I just leaving behind a pile of garbage and lots of upset people? Or am I leaving a trail of people in my wake who are now healed or inspired or happy to have been around me? And you're going to want to do the latter and add value to other people's lives. On the 28th, we have the moon moving on, and it conjuncts the south node, Mars, and black moon Lilith. So immediately the doubts are going to come up now the next day. How am I going to help? I don't know anything. How am I going to teach people? Listen to what you're best at. Listen to what you enjoy being in the spotlight about. That is your answer. That's how to get started. So what is it that's in your life already that you really enjoy? That's what's going to help you to start this process of being of service to others. On the 28th, we have a sharp opposition again between Mars in retrograde in Aquarius and the Sun in Leo. So, do I take the opportunities to be a star? Or do I try and somehow get a point across, which I'm not even sure about? Be the star. That's how you get your point across. So Mars is weakened. He's kind of this little irritant here over the summer saying, you should do this, why don't you do that? It's all being handled. Everything's in hand. Everything's taken care of. So they say, thank you, Mars, for trying to guilt me or push me at something. I'm already doing it. I'm already performing and helping people and sorting people out. It's good. You can relax. Calm down, Mars. Leave me alone. The 30th, we have a grand cross happening in the chart. Jupiter in Scorpio, the Sun and the North Node in Leo, Uranus in Taurus, and Mars and the South Node in Black Moon Lilith. Lots of energy on this day. Try not to overwhelm yourself and do too many things at once, and keep it simple. You're going to want to focus on romantic relationships. Also, Mars, help people, teach people. I want to be in the spotlight. Plus, I want to have time for myself to meditate and to connect with my higher self. It's a busy day, okay? That's a lot to do in one day. So take one thing at a time on the 30th. Try not to get overwhelmed. On the 31st of July, that heightens. That grand cross gets even more stronger. So, keep things simple, one thing at a time, and don't overwhelm yourself. Okay, so that's the chart for July. Let's have a look at how this is going to affect each sign of the zodiac now. So, Lexi, thank you for providing the timestamps. Once you've put the timestamps in, I'll put them in the description so people can find how these energies are going to affect them specifically. Now, Aries is first. Aries, you're going to notice this in your 5th, 10th, and 11th houses. The 5th house has to do with love and romance. 10th house is work and career, and the 11th house is your hopes and dreams being realized. So you're going to be very assertive and communicative this month, and because Mercury is in a fire sign, you're going to find that really easy to get your point across. From the 3rd of July until the 19th of August, you're going to really struggle with this feeling versus building. So feeling in your romantic life versus building something in your career. What do? Do you follow the career, or do you spend time in your personal life? Now, considering everything we've said about the energy, getting more about healing others in the future, take the time to feel joy and to have fun. From the 10th of July, you're going to have more discernment in your work, and when it comes to making deals, you're going to be much better at deciding if this works for me, this doesn't, this is a good deal, this isn't such a good deal. So that's really helpful when it comes to actually working. So the love planet, ironically, helps you in your working life. The 13th of July, you need to allow healing and sharing and caring for others with this, it's the new moon eclipse happening. Yep. The solar eclipse in Cancer on the North Node, the new moon, that's on the 13th. So for you, it's really important that you allow in your personal life, that you allow to heal the things that are still hurting you in terms of your romantic life, and that you share that with your romantic partner, and that you care for them, and that you let yourself be taken care of. So if you have something that's really been sitting on your chest for a while, like if you were abused as a child, and you've never shared that with anyone, this is the time to open up about that. It's also allowing healing in your work and in terms of how you see life, and that your dreams can become a reality. You can make things happen. From the 20th of July until the 2nd of August, Aries, you're going to feel the sense, again, the self versus others. Who do I help? Myself or other people? Again, the self is going to push you more towards romance. I would suggest that if you're able to explore that, go for it. You're going to work hard anyway this month. You're going to achieve a lot in your working life. So you, out of all of the signs, yes, you're blessed to communicate freely and openly, but you have to really make sure that you insert some fun there. Because you're uncharacteristically focused and duty bound to help other people at work, in your personal life. And remember, charity begins at home. Between the 26th of July and the 19th of August, communication becomes more difficult. And for you specifically, in your romantic life, and also how bombastic and how much spark and fire there is in the relationship. Because that's going to lessen with communication becoming more stifled, because that can obviously create miscommunication and resentment and bad feelings, and that's going to slow down. So again, we're seeing here at the end of the month that you get more focused on work and being busy. So use the beginning of July to have fun and to be romantic and to let your hair down and to just enjoy yourself. On the 27th of July, you really get a confidence boost and a lack of interest in others. And this is in your romantic life, you get the boost again, and the lack of interest is at work. So this is the final day of the month where you can really enjoy yourself and look at your partnerships and put work kind of on the back burner a bit, and then pick it up again in August. Okay? Now, Taurus, the themes here are going to affect you in your 4th, 9th, and 10th houses. So that's family, it's travel, broadening your horizons, education, and work. So again, family things are going to be raucous and loud this month. Your dreams are going to be big when it comes to what you can do with your work and how you can grow and expand your business. From the 3rd to the 19th, you're really, again, torn between, do I spend time with family or do I build this business? In your case, you can really make a lot of progress building this business, but like Aries, you know, all of the signs are going to have to make a choice. Do I only focus on building and making money, or do I focus on feeling as well? So you have the same choice to make, although yours is much more severe because it's family or work. So I would suggest, like, it depends. If I have great family relationships, then allow yourself to feel and enjoy that. But if you have awful family relationships, then channel that energy into building something in your career, because you can really go very far. And this isn't like just romantic relationships. This is family. This is your parents, your aunties, your grandparents, all of that stuff. From the 10th of July, you have more discernment when it comes to new opportunities that you're looking at and new working life situations, so you'll be able to really make good business decisions around the 10th of the month. On the 13th of July, this is the time to heal and spend time with family and to share and care. So you can do the business stuff for most of the month, Taurus, and just use the 13th, that solar eclipse in the new moon, and use that to really spend time with family and to heal things and to care for other people. From the 20th of July to the 2nd of August, it's again a conflict between self and others. And this time I really think that you should go back to doing your work, doing your career, progressing in that area and feeling really fulfilled, because family is in small doses for you this month around. And those moments, like during the new moon and the full moon, that's when you can use the time to really make a lot of progress in your family life. From the 26th of July until the 19th of August, Mercury goes retrograde. And that happens in your 4th house. So now family relationships become more difficult for you. So now it's time to step back from family and to devote yourself to work even more. You're going to have to play that by ear. It depends on your family situation completely. Just know that family is going to be good in July. At the end of the July, family situations aren't as good and work becomes better for you. On the 27th, you also get this boost in terms of your career again, and you're not so interested in family. So put that aside and really build something wonderful in your working life, in your career. Moving on to Gemini, you're going to be affected by this energy in your 3rd, 8th, and 9th houses. 3rd house is the house of communication. 8th is the house of the self in connection to others. Institutions, hospitals, corporations, the other side, anything that's bigger than you. And the 9th house, which is about education, travel, and broadening your horizons. So, Gemini, you're ruled by Mercury, okay? And for Mercury to be in fire, and for you to be very communicative anyway, means that you're able to really just, like, write a book. You can be so creative. So if you're a Gemini who likes to talk, or who writes jokes or writes books, or who does anything along those lines, please, please, please use July to make this happen, because you're going to be so confident. And you're going to be talking about stuff which you really care about and which is aligned with your soul purpose, your life mission. From the 3rd of July until the 19th, you're either going to have to decide to, you're going to have to feel your way into what it is you want to communicate, and that's going to transform what's happening to your existing circumstances, and it will allow you to step out of your existing circumstances. This is for Geminis. This month is for Geminis who are working in a business, in a company that they don't like. It's a job, it's a temp job, it pays the bills. This month for you Geminis is the time to listen to your fire, to your inner voice that wants you to communicate and express yourself. By expressing yourself on the side and doing that, and doing it in a way so that it can become your career and it can become something that you get paid for, that's the best way of escaping from an unsatisfying working situation and really making yourself independent through your own communication. On the 10th of July, you're really going to have a very clear vision of what your status is in your life. And if you want to change that, and you will know that you're not reaching your maximum potential, and you're really going to get a sense of a boost, and I need to do something so that my life matches me more. Because right now it's not matching. On the 13th of July, during that eclipse, it's the healing of having put yourself down for so long and for having ignored your own voice for so long. Apologize to yourself for not letting your voice be heard and saying no one's going to want to hear what I have to say anyway, or I'm not talented enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough. Apologize to yourself, heal yourself during the new moon, and really allow that self-love to come in so that you stand behind what it is you're saying, because that's where your value will come from. On the 20th of July through until the 2nd of August, Gemini, you're going to have to make a decision between focusing on your personal communication expression. And that can be, I want to be a coal miner, I want to write books, or I'm actually painting the picture. It can be a variety of things. Versus other people. So you ought to, by the 20th of July, be in a position where you can focus on your own stuff as well as the demands of others, so your existing job with what you're doing now on the side, and that's going to be super helpful, because that is going to help you transition out of that prison where you have no freedom and into a situation where you have total freedom and you can do what you like in terms of your work. Okay. 26th of July until the 19th of August, communication becomes stifled because Mercury goes retrograde. Mercury's your ruler. So you're going to be hit by this hard. You will see things totally differently. And that's confusing because you've already had some awakenings and epiphanies this month already. So it's now another epiphany. It's like, where am I? It might be a little bit much. So by the end of the month, the 27th and ongoing, really spend some time with yourself, meditating and asking yourself, okay, what is it? What direction is it that I want to go in? And then you really have a great game plan, which you can use for August, and where you can really start taking that Velcro and ripping it apart and ripping yourself out of a situation in your life that doesn't serve you, that doesn't please you. Okay. Cancers, you're going to be affected by this in your 2nd house, your 7th and your 8th. So the 2nd is money and belongings, 7th is relationships, and the 8th house is again relationships, but it's the self, like poor little me, in connection with these big institutions. So you're going to be very confident and assertive when it comes to your business, how you make money, how you relate to other people, and how you comport yourself at work. From the 3rd of July until the 19th of August, you're really going to be interested in building both financial success and relationship success. So you're going to be doing 2 things at once, or you're going to want to do 2 things at once. Can be done, but just remember that you're taking on a little bit more than other signs, taking on a bit more than you can chew because you want to be so successful. On the 10th of July, you're going to be able to make great business decisions, especially when it comes to investing in a new company, starting your own business. And also, it's a wonderful day to start a new relationship. So you're on both tracks here this month. You're totally on track, and you're like, this is your time of year. It's all happening for you. On the 13th, allow healing and sharing and caring in your relationships. Really be open and vulnerable. And so you'll be surprised at how you'll notice how much in love someone else is with you who you never even considered and who you never realized was in love with you. On the 20th of July till the 2nd of August, it's again a decision to work with others to create financial success as opposed to working alone or working for other people. It's almost like you find a middle ground of where you can work in a way where you have say of what's going to happen. You're working with others, but you're not completely isolated either. And you get some power and control over what goes. From the 26th of July until the 19th of August, with Mercury going retrograde, that will make business dealings and relationships a little bit more difficult now, so you have to find different ways of doing them. And on the 27th, you're really just going to focus on money, and the relationship side of things is going to drop off and cool off a little bit. So here in July, really use relationships and delve into relationships, because from the end of July onwards, moving into August, you're going to be more interested in money. So have some fun in your relationships, love, laugh, enjoy. Leo, for July, you're going to be affected by this in your first houses, your 6th and your 7th houses. First house is the house of self. 6th house is work, daily routine, and your health. And the 7th house is relationships. So we're covering a lot of areas here for you, Leo. You're going to be, Mercury is in your sign of Leo. You're going to communicate very comfortably. You're going to feel super comfortable in your own skin, and you're going to communicate loud and hard and fun, and you're really going to make the most of it. You're going to have a fabulous time this month. You're going to laugh and enjoy yourself and really just go for it. From the 3rd of July until the 19th, you've got a decision to make whether you, in terms of yourself, how you feel about yourself, there's nothing to do because you feel great about yourself. The choice you have to make is either do you want to build something in your everyday life when it has to do with your health or your routine, or do you want to build something in your relationships? You can do both. So if you're a single Leo and you want to build a relationship, then do that this month. If you're married or a coupled Leo, then it's really a good idea to build on your daily routine, your health, your commute to work, your routine, what happens every day, how you live, the circumstances of how you live. That it depends on your circumstances. So from the 3rd of July till the 19th of August, you can really build something fabulous in terms of your relationships or your working life or your daily routine. You have the choice. Both areas are supported by the astrology this month during that period, so it's your choice where you put the energy. On the 10th of July, you're going to be incredibly discerning when it comes to finding a more effective way to run your life. On the 13th of July, you really enjoy time being with other people, but what you can really heal is the thing that's bothering you in your daily routine, your work, your day-to-day life, your health, the way you feel about your life, the situation you're in. And I think that this month, Leo, is really about you and about you looking at your circumstances and saying, am I happy in these circumstances? Or do I want a different life? And if you want a different life, you can totally throw everything up in the air and you can go on an extended vacation. You can change your whole life. But also, if you don't feel the need for that, if you feel comfortable and settled, you can really heal your daily circumstances and make changes and tweak them, and you can also improve your relationships with people. So out of all of the signs, you have the most options in terms of what you look at. On the 20th of July, again, there's conflict between the self and others, and that lasts until the 2nd of August. No question, the self isn't an issue for you. You're totally in your power. So you will be able to focus on other people, and you have a one-up on other people because you're totally at ease within yourself. So you can choose, you can help, you can, if you see someone kind of ruminating or grumbling about something, you're in a position to say, hey, what's going on? How can I help you? Make new friendships, make new relationships happen because you're in such a good place. On the 26th of July through until the 19th of August, we've got Mercury going retrograde. You're not so much affected by that because it's in your first house and you know who you are. So you immediately find new ways of overcoming obstacles. If something's broken, you know, if the email doesn't work, if the email's down, you'll pick up the phone, you'll call people, no issue whatsoever. So this Mercury retrograde really for you is going to kind of fly by. On the 27th, you feel even more strong within yourself, and you pull back a little bit from working out your routine or working on relationships, and you focus on you. So you start August with really, your birthday month with really a bang, and you're standing in a position in your life where you feel utterly empowered. So you can really choose to do whatever it is you please, you want to change your life, to change your circumstances, because you're full of power and you have everything you need at your disposal. Virgo, you're going to be affected by this in your 12th house of spirituality, 5th house of romance, and 6th house of daily routine and work. So you're also ruled by Mercury, the communication planet, so you feel much more confident and alive and out there. Excuse me, I'm just going to adjust these pillows. See? I'm even concentrating on the backdrop while I'm doing that. Okay, Virgo is communicative. I'm a Virgo. Virgo is confident and thinks its own jokes are funny and very, very loud and comfortable and happy with yourself. From the 3rd of July until the 19th of August, you're going to notice that either you can connect spiritually with a higher power and really make progress and feel the love of a higher power, or you can make progress in your romantic life if you're single, or in your everyday working life like Leo. So if you're similar to Leo this month in a sense. So if you're in a relationship and everything's hunky-dory, then focus on tweaking your health, your day-to-day routine, make that better, or your career if you're not satisfied. And that's a long time. You've got the whole of July and pretty much most of August to sort that out. So if you're already spiritually connected and you have a relationship, then focus on doing the day-to-day stuff. If your day-to-day life is perfect, but you have no connection to a higher power, you're an atheist, then become willing to see if there's something bigger. If you're spiritually connected and work is fine, but you're single, then focus on finding a partner. On the 10th of July, you really will understand something in terms of spirituality and spiritual awakening that's just going to open up your eyes. So you don't need to focus on that for it to do its own thing by itself. Okay? You're going to have this spiritual awakening moment on the 10th of July, which is just going to open your eyes. So I would suggest that focus on the real world stuff, relationships, work. Spiritually, you seem to be connected anyway. On the 13th, you can really, wow, Virgo, for you, you can really heal past bad relationships and low self-worth and low self-esteem. You can share these feelings with other people, and it's by sharing them with other people that you can heal. And you can also share the things that you feel like you failed at. Like, you know, I have this job, I have to drive there an hour every day, and I get paid a little bit of money, and I barely have enough to feed the 2 kids, and I really am ashamed of myself. Shame and self-criticism will never get you to change. Self-love and communication and coming from a place of love, that's how you can change your life. So ask the universe to help you. Ask your loved ones. Ask your colleagues. Ask for help and allow these things to heal. From the 20th of July until the 2nd of August, it's between, again, spirituality and other people. And I think you need to combine them. So meditate. It's important for you, Virgo, that, especially for Virgos, that they have a spiritual connection in life, because Virgos can get overly obsessive on the details, on the small things, and forget about the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is what's going to make your life good. So you have to look at the bigger picture. And from the 20th of July until the 2nd of August, do that. It will show you where you're at in your life and what your potential is. So you're like you're being, you know that story of the Scrooge guy at Christmas? Ebenezer Scrooge or whatever, and the ghosts of Christmas present, past, and future come along and they show him all these things. That's what you're kind of experiencing. You're having this spiritual awakening. You're understanding what you can really be in truth, and you see that, and you can then take action on that to realize it, to manifest it. From the 26th of July until the 19th of August, your ruler Mercury goes retrograde, so that's really going to make the connection with your higher power slow down a lot, but you'll have to find other ways now to connect it because it's been so open and it's been like a funnel in your head, like just downloading this info. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, but at the end of the month, you're really going to feel very confident by what you've done here in July, and you'll be able to take practical action going into August, so you're not going to be so worried that the spiritual side of things is slowed down a little bit. Okay. Now, for Libra, the energies are in your 11th house, your 4th and your 5th. The 11th is social life, friendships, and your hopes and dreams. 4th is family, and 5th is romantic relationships and children and fun. So Libra, with Mercury being in fire all month in Leo, you're gonna be more confident than you usually are. From the 3rd of July until the 19th of August, you're going to have to make a decision between building family relationships and romantic situations, or working on your long-term hopes and dreams. And again, that depends on where you are. If you are alone and you're happy with that, work on your long-term goals and dreams. If you have achieved your long-term goals and dreams and you have a loving family, then just spend time with them. But if you have a family and you want to really do something with your future where you feel like I haven't really maximized my potential, then balance between family and building something in terms of your career long-term. Or not career, but all of your hopes and dreams. So if your hope is to own an island, or if your hope is to be happy, or your hope is to be healthy, anything like that, work on the long-term goal. On the 10th of July, one of your hopes and dreams does come true. So a friend from the past or an opportunity will come your way that's going to be really positive in terms of, oh my God, I didn't expect this, and it's going to lead me to some other exciting stuff. 13th of July, you can heal your friendships, your relationships, your family life, if you're not defensive and if you're open, if you actually tell them your story. And if you're totally honest with them, you will get a huge hug. I watched this documentary on being gay and Mormonism yesterday, and there's a really high suicide rate in Utah, in America, because the church has taken such a aggressive stance against homosexuality. A lot of gay LGBT teens are killing themselves in that state, and it's much higher than in other states. So it's got to do with that religion. And even if you were gay in a Mormon family, if you come out this month, it's much more likely that the family is going to embrace you despite the religion and say, this is still our son, our daughter, than say, the church is everything, you're out. Because, people in religious communities, Scientology, Mormonism, Catholicism, all of those really are very against homosexuality, okay? But we've got a lot of people now who are parents of gay kids. And a lot of those parents have looked past their religion to love their children. And the big theme for you, Libra, today is that you will be loved by your family regardless of who you are. So you can be open with them and you can share everything about you and they will care for you. On the 20th of July until the 2nd of August, it's no question for you. You can have fun with your friends or your family or your romantic partners. It really makes no difference. You're going to be really happy from the 20th to the 2nd because you'll now be enjoying the freedom of having made these relationships, and you can spend time with these relationships and enjoy yourself with other people, because now they know the real you. That block has been removed and you can be yourself and you can be happy. When Mercury goes retrograde on the 26th of July until the 19th of August, that may cause some misunderstandings in your relationship, so it's not as carefree and easy as it is in July. It becomes a little bit more difficult. And then at the end of the month, you start to focus more on realizing your long-term hopes and dreams and your goals and achievements, rather than focusing on socializing. So August is much more about realizing the end goal for you, Libra. Now, Scorpio, up next. Scorpio, you're going to be affected in your 10th houses, your 3rd and 4th houses. The 10th house is career and work. 3rd house is communication and the way you think. And the 4th house is family and family relationships. So, you're going to find that at work, you're assertive, you're confident, and in your family life, but not just that you're assertive and that you can communicate well and that you don't let other people take advantage of you. You're actually very gifted when it comes to communication this month. If you've ever dreamt of writing, this is your month to do it, Scorpio, because you're really supported in terms of your communication, and the words will flow much easier than they would at any other time. From the 3rd of July until the 19th, you've got a choice. You can either build something wonderful in your career, or you can build something wonderful in your own career independently by making you a communicator, or you can focus your energy on family. So it depends, like in the other cases, where you're at, you know. So if your career is perfect, then focus on getting your message out there and communicating. If your family life is perfect as well. If your family life isn't perfect and everything else is, then focus on family. If communication, you're a published author, everything's fabulous, your family adores you, they, you know, bring over cakes and fish and thing every day, but your career's in, you know, circling the drain, then focus your energy on that. So again, you also have a lot of choice in terms of what you're supported by. This is a month where you have choices to make things better in areas of your life. And I mean, it's the 3rd of July to the 19th of August, so it's pretty much 2 months. So this summer is about putting your energy where you want to succeed and looking at the end goal as well. On the 10th of July, you're going to understand something about your work that really is make or break, that really makes a deciding factor for you. So maybe you understand that you're being paid half of what your colleague who does the same job makes, or you understand that the company is actually near bankruptcy and you need to bail now. Something like that. You, through your intelligence and kind of doing detective work a little bit, you really discover something that's significant and meaningful on the 10th of July. On the 13th, you can really heal your work, you can heal your family life, or you can heal your status as a communicator, depending on what you're interested in. If you want to be a writer, heal that by actually writing. If you want to succeed at work, then find something that you care about and transition out of the job that you're not happy in and move into the next job. I always tell people to kind of transition from one job to the other because it's less stressful. But in my life, I couldn't do that. I had to quit the job first before I could find another. I couldn't come home exhausted after a day's work and then apply for jobs and go for job interviews. I've never been good at that. Other people are. But if you're like me, then throwing everything up in the air is sometimes the best thing you can do, because you'll find something that is better, especially this month. So if you've tried the transition thing and you failed, then take that into consideration, what I've said, and just see if that feels right for you and if you would like to do, if you're comfortable doing that. Adds more stress, but it also gives you a push and motivation to find something else. On the 20th of July until the 2nd of August, you're going to feel like you want to spend time with others a little bit and retreat in terms of your work and just be supported and cared for and loved, and to love and care for other people. From the 26th of July until the 19th of August, Mercury goes retrograde and communication becomes more difficult in writing, in work, and in family. So that you may get some new insights into how to communicate differently to get your point across to someone. On the 27th, you really start to focus again on communication and your work, the nature of your work, how you can improve that, and you move away from your interest in the family and other people a little bit, and you become very work focused, and that's going to take you into August and continue in August. Sagittarius, you will experience lots of energy in your 9th house, your 2nd house, and your 3rd. The 9th house is the house that you traditionally rule. It's the house of travel and expansion and broadening your horizons and galloping forward. 2nd house is money, 3rd house is communication. You are going to have a fabulous month when it comes to traveling and learning new things. You'll have the money to do that, and you will be super interested in discovering anything new. You're going to be like a sponge. You want to absorb new cultures. You want to absorb new experiences. You're really on a mission to travel. 3rd of July until the 19th of August, there's a conflict between feeling and building. And you can either build finances and something to do with IT or communication or a communications company. If you're in that field, it's excellent for you to build that and improve it. If you're not in that field, it's a wonderful time to devote yourself to new experiences and to broaden your horizons. On the 10th of July, you're going to understand something about the universe on a spiritual level, which is going to have a direct impact on how you can take that idea and turn it into something valuable that you can share with the world, that's going to add value to them and to you in the form of money. So a great business idea comes through on the 10th. On the 13th of July, you're going to really care more about making money and having new experiences and communicating with the world and the universe. Other people really aren't in this. You're really just focused on yourself and maximizing your potential this month. And by doing that, by following the things that you care about, Sagittarius, you'll end up making more money, and you'll have a much more concise and clear way of communicating with people and expressing your opinion. You'll become an authority figure in your own right. You're stepping into your own power. Okay, so by the 13th of July, like I said, it's really about healing a sense of, I've never seen anything and I've never learned what I wanted to learn, I'm going to do that now. Or it's saying, I know I can make money, I'm going to do that now. I know I've got something important to say, I haven't done it yet, I'm going to do that now. It's like almost playing catch up. On the 20th of July till the 2nd of August, that energy heightens and strengthens, and you really become focused on maximizing your potential. From the 26th of July until the 19th of August, when Mercury is retrograde, that happens for you in your 9th house. So learning and absorbing things like a sponge becomes more difficult. So at the end of the month, you're going to be focused on taking the ideas that you got during July before the 26th and turning those into money-making ventures. So you're going to be very successful in generating unique content and ideas by following your passions and dreams and spiritually opening up. And that's going to, by communicating with something bigger or higher beings or the higher power, you're really going to get an idea that will allow you to majorly increase your finances. Capricorn, you're going to feel this in your 8th houses, your 1st and 2nd houses. The 8th house is the self in connection to others. So institutions, hospital, companies. The 1st house is the house of self. The 2nd house is the house of money and belongings and making money. So Mercury is in the sign of fire all month. You're also going to be confident like everyone else. You're going to be confident standing up to other people and groups of people. Little old you, David versus Goliath, no problem. You have no problem with that at all. You don't mind taking on Monsanto, or if you have something you believe in, you will have no fear of facing someone who's bigger than you or an institution that's bigger than you. You have confidence in yourself. From the 3rd of July until the 19th of August, you're really going to build a strong sense of self that includes freedom from institutions which will try and limit you and keep you stuck, and you're going to work on finding freedom from those types of situations, and also working on complete financial freedom and independence. So by the 10th of July, you're going to have some sort of insight into how you can leave the situation that you're in that restricts you, and how you can be totally liberated and you don't have to rely on anyone else for finances anymore. That's huge. Not having to rely on finances for someone. You can dress the way you want. You can work when you want. It's huge. On the 13th of July, you can heal any resentments that you hold towards these organizations which may have been exploiting you by letting go of them and actually getting out of those situations. In terms of yourself, you feel really good and you're able to help other people, in fact. But rather than helping other people and diluting your energy, I would like you to focus on getting out of an unhealthy situation and moving into a healthy situation. And that doesn't just have to be a work unhealthy situation. It can be a relationship that's unhealthy, or it can be a living situation that's not healthy. So it's about taking care of yourself. Remember, that's what this month is about. On the 20th of July through until the 2nd of August, this is really when you take the action to make the changes that you want. On the 26th of July, communication becomes more difficult, but in your case, it's not really relevant because it's in fire, and the energy for you is all in your 8th, 1st, and 2nd house. So you know who you are, you know what you want to change. Mercury going retrograde, if anything, helps you because you're doing new things, and for Mercury, looking at things differently actually allows you to be more flexible and to go with the flow and to learn new things. By the end of the month, you're totally confident in yourself, you have an idea of where you're going, and you're speeding along towards it. So Capricorn, this is really any Capricorn who's a little bit behind in any of the areas of work or money, you'll be able to catch up here. Aquarius, you're going to be influenced by this in your 7th house, your 12th, and your 1st houses. So 7th house is relationships, 12th is spirituality, and the 1st house is self, your identity. So you're going to also feel very assertive this month. You may feel a little bit uncomfortable because you like to facilitate information. You don't like to make a big hoo-ha, and you don't like to be the star of the show. You don't like to be center of attention. You facilitate information. That's your job. So you're going to be louder and more confident and assertive than you usually are, which you may not feel that happy with. Maybe you prefer being a little bit more sedate. So just realize that you'll be quite excitable here in July. From the 3rd of July until the 19th of August, you're going to, you again have a choice. You can focus on your relationships, your connection with a higher power, or the connection with yourself. So again, like other signs who had a choice in terms of where they can put their energy, if you're sorted in terms of your relationships and your relationship with the universe, but you don't have any conception of who you are, then focus on finding out who you are. If you know who you are, but you're an atheist and you have great family, then focus on becoming willing to maybe, possibly conceive that there might be something out there which is bigger than you and which wants good things for you. So you have a choice. Focus on relationships if they're not satisfactory. Focus on your spiritual connection and actually having a relationship with a higher power. Like that's the test. Like if someone meditates and prays and everything, the test question to ask them is, do you have a personal relationship with God of your understanding? And if they say yes, then that's right. Because the whole point of meditation is that you form a relationship with this loving higher power, which makes your life better. Because if this voice was like useless or negative, then we wouldn't bother trying to hear it, would we? So it's because it transforms our lives and allows us to blossom that we listen to it. So you have a choice. On the 10th of July, you'll have some sort of personal insight that will make you realize that you are not the center of the universe, that not everything revolves around you, and that there's a whole different universe out there. Interesting to say this to an Aquarius, because you guys are often very forward thinking and you're open-minded and you're able to kind of be inspired, but sometimes you really miss the most obvious things. And on the 10th, something really obvious that you have missed is going to smack you in the face and you'll notice it and you'll become aware of it. On the 13th of July, you can really heal relationships with other people. And also that happens, I'm being told it happens because on the 10th you realize something about yourself, which will then allow you to look at something bigger, because you discover that you have more value, that you're not just a meat bag, that you're a perfect spiritual eternal being, that your worthiness increases, that you're able to heal yourself, and because you heal yourself, your relationships with other people improve, because you see yourself much better. So that partial solar eclipse, the new moon on the 13th, is going to help you in your relationships now for the next 6 months. Relationship with yourself, your higher power, and other people. So as far as relationships are concerned, you're the luckiest sign of the zodiac, because all of the different types of relationships we can have in life, you're able to perfect and really make wonderful here in July. 20th of July until the 2nd of August. Again, there's a conflict between the self and others. In your case, the self is being kind of swallowed up by these higher realms, so you don't have give yourself to others. If they're between the 20th of July and 2nd of August, if there's a question, should I focus on my own things and isolate, or should I just go with the flow and let other people dictate what I'm supposed to do? Go with other people and what you're supposed to do, because other people are really going to be where your good luck comes from and where you're being taught this month. So rather than being the eternal teacher, you're the one who's being supported, and humanitarians are helping you out. When Mercury goes retrograde from the 26th of July until the 19th of August, and communication becomes more difficult, so that connection with other people now becomes more stifled. So use July to communicate and to connect with as many people as you can, because by the end of July, you're really focused on picking that up, but the relations stuff up again and working through it. But with Mercury in retrograde, you may become a little bit confused, because you'll meet people who are totally outside of your comfort zone times 3. Because Mercury isn't really going to guide you and give you a lot of discernment in terms of who's a good influence, who isn't. So in July, you can really enjoy yourself relationship-wise, but from the 26th, be careful that anyone new you meet or anyone you let into your life for the first time, don't be fully trusting straight away. Be a little bit more careful from the 26th until the 19th of August. 26th of July until the 19th of August. At the end of the month, like I said, you're going to continue to Focus on relationships, but don't be so trusting. Finally, we've got Pisces. And Pisces, the energies this month happen in your 6th, 11th, and 12th houses. 6th house of daily routine and work. 11th is social life, friends, and hopes and dreams. 12th house is spirituality and completion, spiritual strength, and that's your house in the traditional astrology chart. So you're going to be communicative and assertive when it comes to your work, in your friendships. Also, your spiritual connection is going to be super strong. No problems there. 3rd of July until the 19th of August, you're really going to feel strongly pushed towards perfecting your daily routine and to make that better, to find a better job or to find a better commute, to look at living somewhere that's more aligned with who you are. On the 10th of July, you understand something via your higher power that's it's like a solution to things that you thought were unsolvable. So, we got the house, but it's outside of the city, it's too far, but it's got the beautiful garden, and we found something else, but it doesn't have a garden, it's more expensive. And it seems like you just can't work it. On the 10th, a third solution will appear, and it will be a house with a garden in the right area, and it won't cost as much. So be ready for the 10th to make a positive, happy tweak to your existing physical circumstances, work, commute, living situation, and health. You can really improve your health as well this month by changing your diet or exercising. On the 13th of July, you're really going to be able to heal your working life and your career. So ask the universe to help you with that. If you're dissatisfied in where you live, what you do for work, or what your daily routine looks like, say, universe, I've tried to change this by myself. I can't do it. Please help me. And you will get the help that you need. And it's an eclipse, so it lasts for 6 months. So you'll be supported for the next 6 months in sorting out your working life. 20th of July until the 2nd of August, it's really, again, about coming to terms with other people who are preventing you from living the life you want. So maybe you can't move to Costa Rica because your teenage son is 16 and you can't just bugger off to Costa Rica and leave him until he finishes school. It could be that you're in a relationship and he doesn't work and you're bringing in the income and he needs you. That kind of situation. So you're going to have to come to terms with other people. I mean, this is difficult. It's like, I'm doing well. I'm building something with my life. But now other people are becoming problematic and standing in my way. The Mercury Retrograde helps you, which happens on the 26th, because you'll be able to outthink and outmaneuver people in a way that you usually wouldn't. So these problems, these circumstances that hold you back from achieving your dream, the Mercury Retrograde allows you to find a solution to these problems and to get there. At the end of the month, you're really going to be focused on now taking action, getting things done, living your life the way you want it to be lived and the way you think it ought to be lived. And you'll feel much happier and you'll be busy hammering and putting in the nails to your new life. So guys, that's what I get for you here in July. Let me know what you think of the new format, because I've spent more time on each sign of the zodiac now, and I like that because it is very different for each sign of the zodiac, so you guys know what to look out for. Timestamps will be sorted. I hope you have a wonderful July, and I hope this this video has given you some ideas of what you'll be experiencing in July. If you would like a private reading with me, or if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, then please get in touch with me via my website for personal reading. The website is gregoryscott.com. Click on Book Your Reading on the front page, or click on the Readings tab. That'll take you to the Readings page, and you can order the reading that you want there. In my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology, and I combine them. The astrology chart is a blueprint of your soul. It shows me who you are. I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. to draw that up. If you don't have the time of birth, I can use sunrise, or I can rectify the chart to work out your time of birth. Once I have the chart in front of me, excuse me. Once I have the chart in front of me, it shows me what your life purpose is this time around, where you've been in past lifetimes, what your talents are when it comes to work, what's destined for you in work and love and money and health and travel. And also, I can answer questions about those things in future, what's coming up in my love life, or when will I move. And I can also look at when the best time is to do those things, what areas of the globe are ideal for you, and I can answer any questions you have. So if you're interested in having a private reading with me, then please do get in touch via my website. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I will be with you for the daily tarot readings that I do on my YouTube channel, the weekly horoscopes that I do, and these monthly forecasts for all signs of the zodiac. Monthly predictions. I'm still working on the title. I don't know what to call this. Monthly horoscopes for all signs. Anyway, yeah. So I also do new moon and full moon videos. So watch out for the videos on the lunar eclipse, the total lunar eclipse, and the partial solar eclipse that are going to happen in July. I'll make videos to go into much more detail. So watch out for those. Have a wonderful July. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon.